night. It was a really good time.
How did you come up with the idea to do a game night?
You know what's crazy is there was this girl who I was going to do an event with who is in Chico as well, and she runs a Chico singles group. So the difference there is she, she wanted to run a similar event, but she wanted to do it as like a singles only event for her group. And I was like, I don't want to like it sounds like a good idea. I don't want to discriminate against like my people. So I was up in the air. I'm probably going to do something with her in the future, but we talked about doing a game night and then we ended up just doing it. And so we did our own, and then we're gonna do one in the future. But yeah, we did our own game night, and that was a really big smash hit. Like people were having the best time last night.
I love it, man. So this venue, were you familiar with this venue in the past, or did you have to find this one from scratch?
Yeah, bro. During COVID, this was one of the only venues in Chico that broke the like 6 feet policy and broke
Yeah.
the that kind of stuff. So back then I was still drinking and stuff. So I would go there and party a little bit back in the day. But they opened they're one of the newest venues in town for sure. They're probably only a few years older than COVID. They probably opened in the late 2010s, like the 20 teens, and really, really nice venue. And they keep adding to it. And so when I went there, it wasn't anywhere near as cool as it is now. Like now they have this whole outdoor grass area. They used to just have like a little patio with a couple of with like a fire pit and a couple of benches.
Yeah.
Now it's like a whole venue for like concerts that can fit up to like 200 or 300 people, and they just have this giant bunch of outdoor fire pits, benches, games, like the really cool old style lights,
Mm-hmm.
and just really hit the vibe. So, and
Nice.
we got the venue for free.
So this was a place that we like was you already knew about it and people were familiar with it. They've been there. It's been around for a while. So it was like recognizable when you sent the invite, it sounds like.
Yeah, there's definitely some. Yeah, so the thing is, like my group's super Christian though, so it's a beer garden, so it's not something that they would normally go to, but because they have this like outdoor area and it's super family friendly, people really loved it right away, and like yeah.
Nice. So how did you set it up? Did you get there early and just claim space, or did you reach out to the venue and tell them what's going on? How did you set it up?
Well, we had a conversation this earlier when I was doing the coaching, which is if you kind of have the mindset where you're bringing a ton of people to somebody's venue, they're not going to want to turn it down. Like
Mhm.
maybe you won't get a Saturday night, but you can get a Wednesday night or a Thursday night or a Tuesday night.
Mm.
And my group's not really out partying on Fridays and Saturdays and stuff. So that just worked out perfectly. I was able to tell him, like, I was able to tell the co-founder of this venue, like, hey, I want to work with you and bring a bunch of people to your business on a slow night. Let me know when's a good time that I can bring 40 people in. And
Nice.
there wasn't even a conversation about money. Just
Yeah.
boom, we got the venue.
How did you initially like talk to this person? Was that on email? Was that in the DMs? Like,
Yeah, so with all the venues that I've secured, I've gone in person to meet the venue manager or the events manager. This one was this one like I went in there, I put my sales hat on. I was trying to talk to the manager of the location, talk to like the different people. I wasn't able to get his card or get anything. So I had to go through an email request, and then I sent an email that basically explained like what my intentions were.
okay, cool. All right. And he gave you, or he was like, yeah, no problem. And then just said you'll have this whole space to yourself. Or what did he offer you, or what was?
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, basically Wednesdays are our slower days. So
Okay.
then um he has a bunch of different spaces that he rents out, and they range from like $250 an hour to like $750 an hour.
Nice.
And basically I was like, I think our group would love the karaoke paired with our game night. So we just took the outdoor space. He's like, yeah, take whatever's open for you guys. And so we filled up pretty quick. We were originally sandwiched, so there was like an 8 table layout, like do.
Hmm.
So we were originally sandwiched like two middle tables, and there was people in between us on both sides. But like our group got so big so quick, they kind of just dispersed. A lot of them went over to the grass area that had like lawn chairs and stuff to watch the karaoke and kind of just chilled over there. So we kind of just conquered the venue pretty quick.
That's awesome, man. So, okay, what do you think it is that gets people interested in going? Is it just like because of the group chat and they're excited about meeting the other people? Do you think it has a lot to do with the venue and game night and stuff like that? Like, what interested people in going? Or just your opinion?
Yeah, so we're definitely a unique concept because it's like a Christian event group, right?
Yeah.
So not there's not one of those in town. There are like hiking groups, there are like event promotion groups that do like bar crawls and stuff like that. But there's nothing really for this. So there are plenty of churches that have like groups, but there's nothing that's like agnostic of a church but is Christian. So like we kind of get people from all over. So we kind of get to dominate that space because
Mhm.
we're not we're not like tied down to just working with a single church, and like nobody's really our competition because we're really the only ones that do what we do right now. So we have like that kind of like first movers advantage in the town. And then I would say aside from that, we put on really like fun events. The events are really fun. We did we've done our first event was a hike. We did a barbecue and pool party. We did a mocktail night. We did another hike that was out of town. And people just like our events because they're fun, they're marketed well. And I go through and use the methods that you taught me, which are to go in and DM each individual uh, each individual who is in our main group chat, which is about 150 people. And if I have, however many slots to fill, I'm going to go DM everybody who's able to make it. And then, yeah, did that recently and filled our group from 30 to 46 RPPs in like 36 hours. So that method works really well.
Nice. And so for the people that are showing up and all of that stuff, do you feel like do you feel like you're making friends with these people? Or do you feel like there's connections being built? Do you feel like you're still building upon that? And um, just in terms of like, we'll go through the numbers again, like the total attendance and RSVPs and all that stuff. But as far as like the crowd that shows up, do you feel like it gels well? Does it still need to be like curated or grown or
Well, yeah, so I'm definitely down to grow the group, but what's magic about the social circle is you're advertising to a curated crowd of people that you want to be with. So
right?
I'm making friends with the exact kind of people I want to be friends with. Like they're coming into the group, and then it's just a really low stakes environment where we're all here for the same reason. So I've made a ton of friends. Like a few months ago before I started with you, I had just gotten fresh out of a relationship. I'm 30 now, so all my friends are busy. All my friends have careers, they're married with kids, all that stuff. So, I was with a girl, I thought I was going to get married, all that stuff. Anyways, end the relationship, and I had no plan what I was going to do next. And so, after like a couple of weeks, was like, maybe I'll start going back out to the bars. I tried that a couple times. It just wasn't for me anymore. And so then I came across the program. I was like, I could do this and I could use it to make like a Christian friend group that I really want.
Yeah.
And yeah, after like pondering on it for a while, praying about it, I decided, yeah, it's time to do it. And then we moved forward, and it's kind of been history from there. Every like the problem I have now is I don't have enough time to myself. Whereas
Yeah.
at first when I got out of that relationship, everybody like my whole social life was kind of dead. And now it's like I can't even keep up with it. Like I've had something every single day of the week. Monday I was hanging out with a friend who invited me to come play cards. Tuesday there was a couple of things. After the gym, I had some friends hit me up to come hang out. Yesterday was the event. Tonight I got invited to a pool party. And it's just like it's almost every single day there's something now. So it's
Nice.
completely changed my social life.
Yeah. Really getting out of a relationship is breakups. I think I'm fortunate to say this, but it's always like that's if I look back on like some of the worst things that have ever happened to me, man, it's breakups and like getting out of relationships. It's tough. Like it's for anyone that's like gone through breakups and understands that, um, that shit affects you, man. And that's why I tell people like whether you are in a relationship or not, having the like social structure in place is so important so that ideally you're not in a situation where it's like just complete ground zero if something does come to an end. It's like an insurance policy. But what's up with the pictures of you like standing on the table and like pointing and like telling people what to do or something like that? I didn't what is the context of that picture, those pictures?
Yeah, so that was kind of a funny moment. So there were a couple moments where I was standing on chairs, standing on tables, that kind of stuff. I had to direct a crowd of 40 people how to play this bingo night. And then there were a few moments. So one was like telling everybody how to play, what we're doing. The other one was at the end. So somebody got bingo super quick, like within a few minutes. So then I went up and told everybody, all right, we're playing blackout. So that's when you have to fill out the whole card.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of just having everybody go around and count up how many points that they got. And then because nobody got blackout, and it was like the time was starting to pass. So then I ended the game, and I had everybody circle around me. And then it was kind of like an auction, like who has the most bingo points. And so the winners, I bought them a pizza. So that was a
That's
really
awesome.
fun.
Were you because I get like I've done speaking stuff and I've done public speaking and stuff similar to this. I'm always super nervous before I do it. And then afterwards I'm always like so glad that I went through with it and did it. And it's photos like this, by the way, that people would die for. Like everybody hires the next photographer to go do these photo shoots and they'll stage high value lifestyles, but like the real pictures, like you can tell whether it's like authentic and legit or not. Like this is the type of stuff that men are intentionally trying to create without actually going through and like doing the thing, which is like being like putting yourself out there basically. And so what I was going to say about this also is like these are the moments when you're like if you're standing up there and you're helping people and giving guidance. I think a really important concept to understand from a dating perspective is that these are the moments that a woman realizes that she's attracted to a man in the most like genuine and authentic and powerful way. Like a swipe on Hinge, that's cool. Like, okay, we match, like we like each other's profiles, we like each other's look. Let's go out to like drinks or whatever it is. But I think if you look all the way back in time or like in the olden days, like this was what it was. Like that's the modern day Hinge. Is it's like who's the guy that's stepping up? Uh and it's noticeable, you know, and it's like, let's be honest, it's like an attractive characteristic. So do you get like nervous to do this stuff, or does it just like come pretty naturally to you?
I'm a bit of a yapper. But no, dude, I almost black out sometimes before I'm doing it. And at the end of it, I get this, maybe not even in the end of it, but like somewhere in it, it's kind of like I black in and I'm just riding this insane high where I have like all these people and I'm like moving them around and doing this. And like there was a moment, I have a video of it, it's pretty funny, where I'm announcing like what we're about to do, and then like people are just coming up and asking to help. And I'm like, yeah, perfect. That's great. Boom, boom, boom. And it's like when you have, I don't want to sound corny and say the motion, but when you have that, people kind of just fall into place. It's really great. And one of the most valuable things that running this group has given me is newfound leadership skills that I had no idea that I had, and skills that required me to be skills that just required me to be sharp, think on my feet. It's almost like running a business, you know? And
Yeah.
yeah, it's given me some leadership skills that I didn't know I had, and it's also helped me build some leadership skills that I feel like every man should have. And
100%.
I want to piggyback off what you said earlier, because there's that moment where every man goes through a breakup and it's a brutal process. It's one of the worst things, but it's up to you to make that one of the best things. And
Yeah.
joining New City Mastery was one of the best things. And I think most people are using it, and maybe not, to meet girls. And, some people are using it to make connections too. I was in a place in my life where I just genuinely needed some friends.
Yeah.
And I like, now that I've gone through it, I couldn't think of a better way. I couldn't think of a better way like that it could have gone. I couldn't think of a better process I could have used to build this social life that I have now.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it a little bit on the last call, but when I started my journey, the problem wasn't really like necessarily that I wasn't succeeding with dating. To a certain degree, I was pretty satisfied with my results from just running around like a maniac at the bars and just like talking to as many women as possible. But what really like aided me was the sense of like basically like being out of the loop, or the disconnectedness, like knowing that there's just, and it always like sounds superficial, but it's not. Like there's just more important like places to be and more important things happening. Like I'll put it that way. Like there's just like a more meaningful something going on, and I just always felt like I could never figure out like where is that happening, and like where is that at? And like who, like I didn't like who, like who are the important people in my city, and like where is like the motion or whatever. And so like no matter what, the first step, like it's like the only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time.
Yeah.
And you gotta like meet one person at a time, make one connection at a time. One thing leads to another, and you do need to like honestly meet as many people as possible and be as like kind to everybody as possible, and just try to add value as much as possible, and literally start at the level you're on, and like humble yourself as much as you need to, and look at the look at your goals as this like long-term thing that's like so much more meaningful than just like one singular outcome, whether it's just a friend or if it's just a girl, but rather getting yourself to a place where you feel like, I think it's a potential thing. I think that the whole like socializing and leadership game is not even a matter of like, oh, I'm just like lonely. It's like, man, what is my potential in the world at large? Because the social game doesn't even end once you've really like cracked it in your city, then it becomes about even beyond that, like the entire United States or even possibly the entire world. That's probably how people end up like just, going crazy and getting into politics or something eventually one day. And who
Yeah.
knows? I've always kind of been against, like, I've been super agnostic to politics, like I ignore it. But I think like as I get older, like it's starting to like interest me more in ways that I just couldn't care less in the past. And I think it's just like, yeah, man, limited time to live, limited time to be young, limited time to have energy and just like high testosterone, whatever it is. And yeah, like this process is designed to basically like as aggressively as possible, like take the fast track. And so yeah, like these pictures and stuff are like really dope to see because we've had a lot of guys come through and do parties and events and stuff, but this is clearly clearly a moment where you're like stepping into and embodying something with some intention and some fucking courage, 100%.
Yeah. 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 Even just getting your voice out, talking from down here when you have a group literally surrounding you 360 degrees of 40 plus people, that's it takes a lot. And getting a group to listen like that, you have to strategize a little bit. You have to be like, all right, where's the best position I can be that the most people are going to be able to hear me if my voice is projecting like this? And there's a lot to it. Like positioning is really important. Yeah, it's been a really great process, and it's leveled me up a lot, not just giving me the friendships that I want, but as an individual and as a man.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. So what else I don't know, like what else do you think there is to be said about the whole. Oh, that's what I was gonna ask is, okay, so there's like karaoke and like what were the other games? Like how did the night kind of like unfold? What was like the sequence of events there?
Yeah, so it was we have one guy who always shows up early, and he actually beat me this time. Like it just depends. Sometimes he's before me, sometimes I'm before him. He beat me this time, and so I go over there and I'm hanging out with him, and I have my phone and my camera. I'm plugging the DJI in, getting everything all set up, and then we say a little prayer before the event, and then after that, people start coming in, and then it's like one and then another and another and another, and I greet everybody personally who comes in. I want them to feel really welcome and appreciated. So yeah, greeting everybody, and then we start playing a game of Uno, and people brought all kinds of games. I don't even know the names of all the games because when you're in the host mode, you don't get to always play as much. Mostly you're doing a lot of like networking, talking, that kind of stuff, back and
Or you had
forth.
people bring games.
Yeah, so there were games at the venue. They had cornhole and I think Connect Four, maybe it was broken or something. But and then we had people bring games. So like there was Uno, there were like these card games where you ask questions, get to know each other. There was this board game that has like a bunch of colors and you have to guess the hue or something.
Mhm.
Um, anyways, yeah. So the way that the night kind of went was people start getting there, and then about 30, 45 minutes in, I do the bingo because we hit critical mass. And so then, get up on the podium. That's where you see that moment right there, get everybody engaged in the game. Had to go flag some people down because they were trying to start early before other people got their papers and stuff. And then we played bingo, and people were just all over the place. Like in that tent, we had the whole tent filled up, and I'm just kind of like walking around, getting footage, getting some like stuff for the socials. And then after that, people, we announced the winners. I went and bought them pizza, and then we went and did karaoke after that. And so we were cheering on our people doing karaoke, and it mostly after that point just turned into like social, like yapping, like the games. The games are kind of just like I suppose like a type of social lubricant to get people acquainted, and then people start talking and getting to know each other and making friends.
Yeah, and just kind of like more mixing and conversations and all that stuff.
Yeah, and so the event was scheduled from like 6:30 to 8:30 or something, 6 to 8:30, something like that. But I was probably there till like 9:15, 9:30, hanging out with some of the core group and some of the people who were just like having a really good time. And then after that, we all parted ways. There was a moment where a bunch of people were like off having like really deep one-on-one conversations, and it was just a really good time all around. And on the way out, everybody's like, "This is the best event we've had so far. This is so awesome! I can't wait for the next one." Da 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 da. That kind of
Nice.
stuff. And yeah, it was great.
But yeah, maybe you could build upon the whole game night thing. If it went that well. How many like showed, just roughly?
Yeah, so we had a 49 RSVPs, and I'd say we probably had somewhere in the ballpark of 40 to 44 people show up,
Oh
somewhere in
wow.
there.
Oh wow. That's like almost like a wait, 49 RSVPs and like 40 showed up. That's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a really high show rate.
We do really well with our RSVPs. We've done a good job of not giving RSVPs to people who are not going to attend. And we also put a disclaimer like, if you flake on the RSVP, you might not get into the next events, which there are some people who have flaked on a couple, and they're just like the last ones to get in if there's even a spot.
Mm.
So we've kept it pretty organized in that regard. And there's also it's almost hard in a way because the people in there are like they're super Christian, super empathetic. So like they'll be like, "Oh, I don't want to take this if I'm not sure yet," and somebody else might not get in and that kind of stuff. So we
Yeah.
have maybe a different dynamic than some other groups have where
People just don't give a damn. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. So we've done a good job of keeping our RSVPs as a solid indicator of attendance.
Nice, man. Well, you said that one of your pro tips was talk to the venue manager and just like basically give him make it a no-brainer and just be like, tell me what night. I love the way that you said that is, hey, I've got a group of 40 people. I'm gonna bring them to your venue. In exchange for some free space, tell me which night is the slowest for you and works out. So it's just basically like it sounds like you framed it in like an assumptive way, but
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be, but it definitely could be. It's like just tell me what your slowest night of the week is and we'll make it happen. And then they just give you their slowest night and they slot it. And then you get all the good stuff on the house.
I mean, yeah, I worked in the restaurant industry for a while. Every restaurant has slow nights unless you do like the Rolex or the Ferrari wait list type of deal where they're booked like months in advance. Every restaurant and bar has slow nights. So if you can make a deal a no-brainer for somebody, like you can get, good venues and stuff like that for your group.
What other as far as the success of this event, do you have any other like tips or recommendations that maybe we don't discuss a lot on these calls, or maybe we haven't maybe I haven't covered, or that I've missed or left out, or something that you picked up on that might be, I don't know, either unique or nuanced?
Yeah, I'd say vetting your group is important. So I go through and I stalk the Instagram profile of like everybody that I let into the group because we have a lot of like Christian girls in there. I don't want them to feel unsafe. And the same thing, like, I don't necessarily want a girl who's like a party girl coming in there and like starting a bunch of drama and stuff. Like we want to keep it so like vet your group based on your niche, whatever your niche is. So if you're, if you have a group that's like luxury and you're doing like white parties and that kind of stuff, make sure that you're vetting for like the class of people that you want. Make sure that you know, you're just getting the kind of people that you would want to be friends with in the group is what I would personally say. And that works well for my group because there's a very intentional purpose in my group. If you were throwing like